Hello, today we'll be demoing Anantasana, which means the Eternal One, and couch of Lord Vishnu. The body reclines on its side, one leg extending up towards infinity. Wow, look what she can do. So, how we begin, we'll start with both legs together onto the ground. She has her head resting onto her right arm. And what's important about this is to get the tricep to lengthen on the ground and the armpit to open. It will gently massage the armpit chest, opening up the armpit chest and the lymphatic in the armpit. She's going to start out by drawing her left knee in towards her chest, and she's going to reach from inside of her knee to grab her big toe. She'll take the knee up towards the ceiling, and then the thigh externally rotates, and she extends her big toe towards the ceiling. Very nice. So it becomes a balancing trick. You might find yourself rocking side to side, falling on your back, or rolling forward, but you have the long lines from your left leg really rooted and grounding, your right hip rooting onto the ground, and then through your right side and right armpit. She can add a variation to her head with the blanket if you choose. We have one handy. It's folded. It comes up underneath her right ear, and gently she can let her right arm come out in front of her and let her head come onto the blanket. And then, of course, to deep breathe. Now the variation for this, she's going to bend her left knee once again and let the foot come down towards her buttocks. She's going to grab a strap, and as she brings her left knee in towards the chest, she's going to take her foot around, or the strap around her foot. A lot of times our foot is not accessible to us just with our hand. But she's going to use the same methods of extending and rotating so that left hip externally rotates. So you want to really get it to roll out to the side as she extends up. And then you let the arm reach as much as you can up towards the foot, but letting that left arm, left shoulder drop down into the socket. Again, it becomes a balancing. So it's a great way to learn balancing while you're on the ground. A lot of times we'll find our fear of balancing and falling, all while we're completely laying on the ground. Very interestingly enough to follow that perception and emotional aspect of the body. Now, what's fun to do here as she's doing is to roll over onto her back, keeping the leg positioned where it is, into what is called supta padagusthasana, which means supta is upward facing, supine, lying down, and padagusthasana is the big toe. The pose is useful for releasing the lower back. Excellent. So her leg is straight up towards the ceiling. The variations in here, once again, she's got her right arm out to the side. The right leg is extended as long as she can. If this is needed, she could bend her right knee. So you could play with, do I need to bend my right knee in order to find the balance of my hips, or that right leg, or eventually work your right leg to be extended. And then as you hold on to the strap in your left hand, you can let that left leg externally rotating that thigh bone and letting the leg drift out to the side. Being careful not to list over to the side, but being strong in the right side to let the body evenly broaden across the midline. Beautiful. And if you got a handy dandy wall there beside you, the foot can come and rest onto the wall. The strap or the wall helps to guide that thigh bone back into the socket, so you actually feel a pulling or hugging back into the body, both with the leg and the arm bone, so that it's the torso that begins to widen as well. She can inhale the leg back up to the midline, and then switch hands with the strap. So the strap comes into the right hand, and then taking the leg across the body, trying to keep that leg nice and strong, and the integrity comes by keeping the heel, the knee, and the hip all in that alignment. A lot of times the leg will begin to drift down towards the bottom leg, if you want to demonstrate that. And it comes out of that alignment. Although we feel like we have a nice stretch, it's nicer to have the leg come up a little bit higher off of the ground, up higher, and then still feel the stretch and be able to keep that leg in the alignment of the hip. So it doesn't matter how far you go, it's how you go far. And then you can also work on, if you're very flexible, to even bring your left toes closer to your right armpit. That's a big, deep stretch. So lots of variations here, reaching through that bottom leg, reaching through the bottom heel, and notice what happens to the left hip as you breathe in and out, and you just pause and stay in the breath. Now that you're in the pose, let the breath be what guides you into its depth and variations. And when you're ready, you'll bring that leg back up towards the ceiling. Lower that leg to the ground. And from there, we would switch sides. You can either do these poses together or separate them out. Sometimes it's nice to do, if you wanted. I'm going to ask Carrie to take her, we'll still stay on this side, take your left leg up towards the ceiling once again in the strap. We'll use the strap. Both hands on the strap. Take your right arm overhead once again. Both hands are on the straps, the left hand is on both sides of the strap. Right arm's overhead. Now, challenge yourself to see if you can roll back up onto your right side, back into Anastasia. Ta-da! Breathe, and then you exhale, fall back over. Fall back over onto your back and let that leg drift out to the side. This is great for the abdominals and the back as well. And then roll back up if you can. She's letting go of the strap and just doing it with her foot. Beautiful. So you learn what muscles get activated just by dropping back and raising back up. Ta-da! And then lower that leg down. Good. Roll back onto your back. Knees in towards the chest once again. Rock yourself gently side to side. Roll onto your right side. And back up to sitting.